What are you doing?
Don't stand behind the flowers.
The first time I planted sunflowers was when COVID hit. It just gave us something to look forward to. I had no idea what I was doing. And when the first sunflower pod came up, I was so excited. I was so ecstatic. More than joy, I became addicted to these things. Feeding them every fertilizer in the world, overwatering them, giving them way too much love, attention, energy, and they thrived. And I was out there photographing 3 or 4 hours a day. The neighbors thought I was nuts. And yet the end result are these beautiful, magical, almost, animated Disney-like worlds. And I love photographing the sunflowers that are dying because even in their death, they're beautiful. That's really cool. So it's just, I don't know if you can see that, my fingers turn white from the radiation. They lose circulation, so I have to warm them up with hot water. Otherwise, it's pretty frightening. You can see the one is it's still pretty white. It hasn't warmed up yet. Yeah, you can see that. That one's still frozen a bit. Prior to being diagnosed with cancer, my life was good. We had a thriving advertising agency. We were working with international clients, Xerox, Apple, the Department of National Defense. And we wanted to be the top advertising agency in the world. On the outside looking in, it probably appeared that, wow, this guy's killing it. When in fact, something else was inside trying to kill me. My mental health was terrible. Stressed out, burned out, probably didn't know it. It was probably the thing that caused me to get sick. 20 years ago, it was all about, we want our name on the side of a building in New York. Now, I'm not really focused on money. Wow, this is a big crew. This is great.
Right. Yeah, we're lucky today.
I just want to make sure that everyone received a copy of this. Sarah sent it out to you. It's just a workbook in which you can write down some of your ideas. We'd like to teach wellness as a life skill. Number one lesson of resilience is to accept the fact that life is not a straight line, that we will encounter bumps in the road. The trick is, how can we master those bumps to experience some personal growth? The idea of growth, grade 5 to grade 8, can we teach this idea of resilience? Or is it over their heads?
Well, all the research now with the anxiety with kids where they're not allowed to ever fail and they think that is the end. You failed the test and that's it. You didn't make the team and that's it.
Growing as a person would be the message that I want to pass on to the students in my classroom. They've been through so much. Those are essential messages that we need to be sending to the kids.
For about 10 years, I was doing cancer coaching, just meeting with families that were experiencing cancer, and I was helping them get through the journey. Because of COVID, we ended up developing a partnership with the school system. They want to use our PEPI coaching system maybe we'll be able to do something that can change the world in a good way, but more importantly, teach people the lesson of the sunflower. When bad things happen, that's when we grow. I always like to share a story, and I'm going to start my story by some show and tell on this painting that I did. This is a painting I'll probably never sell because it kind of is symbolic of who my mom wanted me to be. Because my mom loved it when I made art. She really believed that I had some talent or skill to make paintings. And I want to tell you a story about when I was your age. I was in grade 11, I was 16 years old. My uncle called and said, your mom has brain cancer and she's very sick. And I went into the room where my mom was still on a ventilator. They were just waiting for her to die. And I had to go say goodbye to my mom. And it was really hard because it didn't look like my mom. Sorry. You know, I tried really hard not to remember my mom as this person that died of cancer. She was so much more. She was my inspiration. And my mom died when she was 37. So something really bad happened to me when I was 38. I got cancer. My whole life fell apart. I had 3 young kids. They were 7, 9, and 12 years old. I had a life expectancy of less than 5 years. Less than 5% chance of ever speaking or eating again. And that's where I developed this passion to help others. And that's how Pepe was born. So if someone asks you, how have you been feeling in the last few weeks of your life? And it's a number from 1 to 100, but it's not the number that's important, it's the story behind the number. So anyone have a number they want to share?
You know, I'm gonna say I'm a solid, 60. School's stressful. I have an exam final next week, so that's no fun.
Originally I had it at a 33, but I think I'm gonna go for a 45 because I have a lot of stress with school, but I do have things to look forward to.
My dad was admitted in the hospital on Saturday, so I've kind of been breathing heavy, but I'm passing because school's going well, and we've got our Pride event going, which is good.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. When you experience something difficult and you master that, that can lead to personal growth. It's all strength-based. How can you build on strengths because you're so much more than all the bad things that happen to you, right? They're just temporary. We had a bunch of beer cans and pop cans sitting around and we smashed them and I collaged them in the painting. So what's really cool with the painting is it has this kinetic energy. If you look at the painting from different viewpoints, it always changes. The reflection off the tin is, I think it's just really playful. I love it. It's almost done, but I've been working on it for 6 years. This is my series called Anti-Echo Chambers. It's a remix of literally hundreds of this mask-like creature. You get the face pattern that's repeated. As the face repeats itself, pieces of it fragment and break apart. I literally have made hundreds of these. In the animated version, it flips through all the different versions again This is another series. I think there's 40 or 50 of these. You know, having had so much facial reconstructive surgery, and maybe that's why I keep doing multiple versions of one image. I had a lump on the side of my neck, a tumor that was stage 3 and growing inside my throat. You have no power, you have no control. Thinking about my 3 boys, thinking about what their futures are going to be like, and what will I look like? Will I look like a monster, like some of the images I've seen on the internet? But the doctors, they're really good at what they do. I'm so lucky that I had the best in the world helping me out.
So just close your eyes and relax your face. 1, 2, 3.
It's just printing at the moment, so I'm going to have the models ready for you tomorrow. So what we're working on here is a patient who previously had a tumor that come to us to request a cranial implant. So what we have on screen is virtual clay. So I'm actually able to sculpt this. And from this piece, then we can actually create the final implant.
Head and neck cancer is devastating. It robs you of who you are. You're never the same. Between 20 to 50% of our patients are severely depressed after surgery. If you're unable to swallow, unable to eat, which is sometimes a side effect of head and neck cancer, or if your speech is garbled, we could go from being an acceptable quality of life to all the way to a very poor quality of life if you're missing a part of your face. And that happened all the way up to the 1980s. So we try to avoid all of that with reconstruction.
They cut through your jaw, and then they peel your face off. And then they remove the cancer. And then they use a part of your arm to rebuild your throat. All you think about is how are you going to survive that? And I just went into Olympic athlete training mode. Oh, I'm going to train like an Olympic athlete. I need control of this. It's the only thing I can do. Couldn't even begin to think about how complicated, how scary that type of surgery must be.
When I first met Stephen, he was more concerned about his family and his children. Something changed in him where he started thinking more about how he could change himself on the inside to be able to cope with whatever was being thrown at him. He's a different person than when I first met him. I can't speak whether it's better or worse, but it's his new normal.
You have no idea of the impact of that 14-hour surgery. I had a feeding tube shoved down my nose. I had a tracheotomy, I couldn't speak. I was thinking it might have been better if I didn't live. My friends who visited me at the hospital felt the same way. They didn't know whether I could ever speak or eat again, what the quality of my life would be. I think they just wanted me to die when they saw how rough things were. So I was really alone. Careful right here, because it gets kind of When I was discharged from the hospital, the ray of light that showed up was Nick. We were both kind of broken, but seemed to be a good fit, seemed to make each other whole. We just kind of nurtured each other.
You know, when you first meet someone and everything's fresh and new, absolute magical. I wanted some of that. I wanted some of that magic to rub off of me. I wanted to be around it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know if he was going to live past the year.
What do you see? She's a crazy, wild punk rock music, and she is fearless. The thing I love about Nick the most is she's a lot like my mom. She just has so much compassion and empathy for other human beings. I've never heard her say one bad thing about one other person, ever. No, I see, because you've got deeper now.
I didn't know him with the advertising agency and the high-power lunches and all that. I just knew him as Stephen. Stephen, the guy who likes making art. He's crushing it like men half his age can't do. And he does it with a smile and a laugh. He thinks it's funny. So sometimes it's hard to remember that, how fragile he is.
Yeah. So am I gonna have to chop stuff?
Maybe.
Maybe. Excuse me.
that?
Huh?
Are you cool with that?
I am. I'm good. I've had part of my tonsil and some of my vocal cords removed. I have 239 staples holding my face together, 16 implants. It's very important for me to chew on food because that keeps the bone healthy. Could be in 5 years before an implant starts to fail, which would be catastrophic. That does worry me for the future. I'm gonna actually eat this. I'm gonna toast some bread and then have a salad, and then you can get going on the goulash. What you doing? Just hanging out? Prior to cancer, I could eat a meal in 10 minutes. So now, because of the lack of saliva, I might spend up to 3 to 4 hours a day just eating. Eating for me is a disability. Every time I eat, there's the danger of me choking. We've had 911 calls. Your whole life flashes before your eyes. The fear of having a meal and choking to death. We have 3 meals a day. So every time you have a meal, that could end your life. A person can only take so much fear.
I'm about to lick my finger.
Yes, it's blueberries. No, stains. Or maybe it's beets.
It's something. Wait.
Huh?
Yes, it is. Just kidding.
You should be so grateful that you're alive, but you just feel disconnected to the rest of the world. You can't go out in public and eat. You can't enjoy your meal. You think you're going to choke. You're making loud noises and bothering other people, and you get depressed. You struggle between gratitude and I just want to end my life.
The first months, he went into super high creativity mode. That's how he dealt with it. He just was creating 12, 14 hours a day. He got up and he created. And then he made him eat some food and he went back and created more. That's what he did.
Not much was going on in my life other than making art. I was completely distracted by art and the outside world. When I would swallow, it felt like I was swallowing knives. It hurt that much. But when you get into flow state and you get into the creative process, all that disappears. It's almost like someone gave you morphine, but you're just making art. You're in a different conscious reality. I used my art as medicine. Oh, that's cool. So right now I'm working on several projects. I've committed to doing a series of the Joy Mob, which is 441 of these, I call them happy bombs. We need that right now with what we've been through with the pandemic. And, I see my art as a bit of a weapon. Tried to take on a big project that would require 3 to 5 years to finish. Having goals that seemed just outrageous, I turned it into a survival mechanism. Kept me alive for another 3 to 5 years. When people see Stephen Csorba, when they see me, they see the public facing me. You don't see the hours of yoga and movement prep and all of the vocal exercises I have to do just to be able to speak. A lot of my vocal cords are gone. I just can't think and speak. I have to make a deliberate effort. I just don't eat. I have to spend an hour of my time to prepare myself to eat. You're spending so much energy just to function. A bad day is where I've overdone it, and it's hard for me to talk. It's hard for me to function and move. If I go out into the yard and pull a few weeds, have coffee with a friend, so never really have a bad day. It is all the small things. There's so much abundance in all those small things. I get bored very easily. I love challenges. And when I first started doing stairs, I was terrible at them. And that really bothered me. So I started to practice stair climbing. I became obsessed with the training for the gristle because I like a challenge. I like improving on my weaknesses. I don't think age has anything to do with it. I don't feel like I'm 58. I'll be trying to run a marathon when I'm 62. And I've never run a marathon. So this is the gristle. It's actually running on Commonwealth Stadium, the upper decks 4 times. So we run across here, we go up and down the upper deck, come across here, go up and down this upper deck, and then we repeat that. So it's 4 upper decks, and it's incredibly challenging because you have to do all that in 59 minutes. So, yeah. The first 2 times I trained for it, I was a little bit of an idiot, so I think I overtrained and burned myself out. This time the approach I'm taking is much more progressive. So the first week I'm only running 60 stairs, 48 times, and then I'm running 80 stairs, 48 times, and then 100 stairs, which is equivalent to the number of stairs in the upper deck of Commonwealth Stadium. So this is my blocking chart for my training for the gristle, where I kind of go hard 2 days a week. Mondays are high-intensity conditioning, and then Tuesday and Wednesday are geared towards recovery training, and then Thursday it's rest. It's like an advent calendar, so I'll be able to put notes behind all of these days and you know, how I did, how I felt. So this is my reward system. Anything that's a red box is a super intense workout. It's important to acknowledge when you do have success. I love giving myself, you know, gold stars, kind of like a kid. This is what happens when you take an artist and try to make him be an athlete. You just get creative and you end up scribbling a lot. I get a lot of ideas. Anytime I get an idea, I write it down. Gotta get them on the wall, because ideas are like birds that have wings that fly away. Thank goodness for paper and wall space. Otherwise, a lot of these ideas would just be lost.
Want to compose with your flowers?
What's that?
Compose with your flowers.
Yeah, my flowers. Yeah, my sunflowers. Look at my sunflowers. I'm so great at growing sunflowers. Okay, you ready?
Do we want a photo or do we want slow-mo?
No, you could do...
Let's do slow-mo.
Okay.
Be serious.
Okay.
Stop it. Stop messing around.
They're 16 feet up there. That's high. That's high.
I have faith in you. Slow-mo, go.
Okay. Can I hit it?
Nice.
Huh? Can I hit it? I mean, look at my face. I look like one of those movie stars that I've had work done to my face. That was good.
Thank you.
That was really good. That was great. Okay, we should cut this one here for the birds. And we'll throw it on the bird feeder.
Then can we have dinner?
Yes,
or just the birds?
No, we'll eat.
Okay.
So you're gonna wanna frame this because this is a mammoth head. See the size of that?
So many peanuts. Hi, baby. Hi. I know you want this. Hi.
Do you want a peanut? Want a peanut?
Okay, it'll be here.
I stay in touch with the boys through Zoom, and 2 of them are living in the UK, the youngest and the oldest. Bennett is just finishing up his PhD in Montreal. You need to, there you go. How are you doing?
Good.
Tell me what's happening. You're coming to Edmonton.
Trying to submit my second paper before I leave. Car's in the shop right now, and I'm just basically selling most of my furniture on Kijiji.
Have you talked to Emerson and Cooper?
Like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I caught up with Immerse. Cooper was having visa issues, so he might be coming back at some point.
Well, that's good. So I don't want to keep you long, but I do want to share some good news that happened 2 nights ago with my art and NFTs.
Okay, I thought you were going to say your heart. I'm like,
my heart.
Like never good issues.
No, my heart's fine. I don't know if you remember my friend Ray. Ray met these guys, and they're heavy into cryptocurrency. So they want to build a Csorba gallery in the metaverse. At one point, they even mentioned wanting to buy all my art. It's pretty cool.
And I know like the answer you're looking for is probably like a huge endorsement, but I'm just so skeptical of NFTs at this point. I'm trying to like advise you to be careful with that.
I know. Well, I want to show you something, some new stuff. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Down in the studio. Whoops. Can you still see me?
Yeah.
Look at that thing. Look how big this is.
That thing's huge.
Isn't that amazing? So we're gonna wrap up here because I know you gotta pack and you gotta get ready. See, there's Sergio, there's Ava again. They're making a movie about your dad. What do you think of that? A week late, so I don't see Roscoe and Ripley here. I know Ripley's out, so you might not get to see her, but the yard is in, everything's looking great. The sunflowers are coming up, and when you get here, you'll get to come over and, you know, have some of Nick's awesome cooking and check out our garden.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the food, actually. I haven't had like a home-cooked meal in so long.
I know, we're gonna spoil you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, so.
Awesome. I love your new t-shirt.
I love you too. Oh, you didn't love my t-shirt.
And I love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, love you too.
Take care. Bye. Yeah. Is that your good side? Or is it your other side? You want to go outside? Oh. You know, artists are typically really isolated. We go and create alone, and the cancer just made it worse. Just not aware of how poor my mental health was gonna get. When I came back out in public, a lot of people thought I died and I didn't make it. I would bump into people that I had worked with for 5 or 10 years and they didn't recognize me. And they were talking about me like I had passed away. You know, being the practical joker I was, I'd kind of egg them on and I'd say, so what kind of guy was Stephen Csorba? What was he really like? And then start talking, and then they realize, you know, like, you're alive. You're like, and it was hard. Like, they honestly thought I didn't make it. I was that isolated. Times were tough. Money wasn't coming in, couldn't get a job. Some people wouldn't hire me because I sounded like I was drunk. I went from having a 6-figure salary to having nothing. And no ability to make money, really. I'd sell a few paintings. The boys always got the money first. Then for us it was rent, and then food, and then utilities. I'd be behind on child support payments because I wasn't working, wasn't invited to graduations. Emerson described his mom as being a single-parent mom. Didn't have the energy to figure out what was going on. I was trying to stay alive. Check this one out. Isn't that cool? I went through these, I forgot I had any of these last night. And it's like, oh, look at this stuff. My depth of field is like not even a couple of centimeters, and it creates this magical quality, the video. These are the sunflowers we planted across the street in the neighbor's yard, and they didn't know about them. Watch the rhythm here with the wind blowing through. These were the sunflowers that drought got to them early, and they still grew, and they grew kind of weird. The sunflower is one of the most resilient plants in the world. Storms come along, they knock the sunflower over, so it has to decide, do I stop growing or do I just grow sideways until I find the light again? Sure enough, they find the light, they start growing up again. Roscoe! Roscoe! 20 years ago, I was not prepared for 10 years of disruption. I was walking, it must have been 4 in the morning, U of A hospital. There was a chapel, and I just prayed to God. I made that deal. I was going to spend the rest of my life helping others. Just want to see my 3 boys grow up. Probably not the smartest decision financially, but as a dad, it was more important for me to be a role model for those boys, to show them that at the end of the day, people remember what you did for others, not what you did for yourself. Roscoe! What are you doing out here? You inside? Are you all wet?
We have polar opposite schedules. I work nights. And of course, he's Mr. Get up at 5 a.m. guy. I'd be rolling in at 3 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to talk to him, so I would just start these conversations with him, write it out and with a little sunshine. Hope he puts it in his pocket and it makes his day better. We had just read that cats express their love by doing the slow blink. So this one's been up for years. So, and it just makes us giggle.
She's a good artist. She's amazing. There's one more here. It bled though. You are pretty. See, I found some more.
You still have them.
Yeah, I cherish every meowment with you. Yeah, she used to document her life, so I saved these.
I can't believe you kept that note.
I kept all these notes. I think Nick has seen me fail way more often than I've succeeded. And most people by now would have said, you're out the door. If you're trying to change the world, you know, that's just unrealistic to think that Pepe or your art is going to make that kind of impact. 99% of the world would think that way, and yet Nick believes that we will make it happen. It'll happen. So I met her, the one person that believes that.
You're so little, but you're so perfect.
Absolutely. I know. I'd have to count my fingers after this. I wonder if I should save some of the leaves. Yeah, I like that. I've learned to consciously every now and then just to slow down. It's hard for me to open and close my mouth and get breath out. That has an impact on your mental health. It wears you out. So that's why I work out a lot. That's why I love running stairs, even though it's really hard. Because I have to breathe, and I become a master of breath. Today was part of the training program for the gristle. So right now I'm able to get to 160 stairs twice. So I've got 4 months to improve that. If I'm able to do 10 full sets sprinting, pretty much a good benchmark for being able to do the gristle. So it was good today, beautiful. My mom and me, my dad and I.
I think I looked through these like once when we were kids.
Doesn't my dad look like he could be a gangster?
Oh yeah, for sure.
The gangster haircut. Part of the Hungarian mafia. That's my mom, my brother and I. That was a couple of years before she passed away. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is a cool
That's
photo.
incredible.
I just remember this is like, I think like the last sports tournament that your dad came to. He was complaining the whole time.
Yeah, he did that a lot.
Pitching.
And then what happened to this guy? He used to be a total goofball. Now he's so serious.
It's Cooper.
That's Cooper. See, look.
Oh, so cute.
Oh, that's me. That was right before I got sick, I think. 2002, yeah, 2003.
Mm-hmm.
That was a year before. Happy Father's Day.
From?
I don't know. Who's that from?
It's from me.
Emerson.
No,
Oh,
this is,
from you.
this is Ben.
Oh, that's from you.
Surprising.
Good health to you.
I just never signed off as Ben.
Isn't that funny?
We probably should have understood a little bit more about what was going on. When we were first told, we're like, okay, what's cancer? I was 9, my older brother was 11. Bit of a strange time. Pre-cancer, my memories are sparser. Mom and dad got divorced right It wasn't right before the diagnosis, but it was maybe like a year and a half. Before then, it was like you'd see your dad when he comes home. We'd be playing soccer or something, he'd be coaching. When he did get cancer, I was less involved in the sense that we saw him less. Got back to normal, probably more when I was like 16.
Some school pictures. Does he have an earring?
He does, yeah.
Does he still have an earring?
He does not still have an earring. At this point, it's almost more of like a friendship than a father-son relationship. I'm 29. My older brother's over 30. My younger brother's 27. Doesn't have to be like that father figure at this point. We're doing our own thing, so.
Was that you or?
I don't know. I feel like Emerson, or Cooper and I would copy Emerson's stuff a lot.
That was Emerson pitching, Emerson hitting. I don't think they were aware of how sick I really was. Partially my fault. You know, I've always acted strong. I don't think any of them ever feared cancer thing would be the thing that would end my life. Rainbows. Parents are weird how we keep all this stuff and it's like gold. This will give you an idea of what we grew last year. Just have to be careful of the power lines. This is a 16-footer. So we have about a 12-footer beside it. And then this guy here actually survived the winter, which is really crazy. Yeah, I think in November we spray painted it yellow, threw it on Instagram and told everyone that it's a special type of sunflower that grows in the winter. They all believed us. But that thing is, it's incredible that from a tiny seed, it goes from that to that. I love coming out at lunchtime for half an hour and just digging dirt, just flipping over dirt. The last week when I came back here on the day that we had the snowstorm, I covered up about 200 sunflowers with the little plastic cups. If there was one sunflower that wasn't covered, I felt bad. I felt like, oh no, it's not going to survive the snow. So here's the hard part. There's so many sunflowers in here, we have to thin them out. So we're going to have to kill a lot of baby sunflowers. And I don't know if I can do that. For me, that's almost traumatic. We just ran all over the city and bought every type of sunflower seed. We had some that were 16 feet. The heads became so heavy that they drooped over. They couldn't support themselves. In a windstorm, all those heads would balance each other out. We all know the lesson, it's lonely at the top. It's definitely beautiful, it probably feels good to be that massive and that stellar, but you also need that connection and that balance. So Adam, what is it that you're carving there? Is it a...
I am carving here an otter. And I love doing this stuff because when I come here, I'm not thinking about, well, you described it perfectly to me, how your neck feels. You have 8 elastic bands strangling you.
Yeah.
Mine does too.
Yeah.
So when I'm here, I'm not thinking about that.
It just kind of fades away.
Concentrating, yeah. But my surgeon was Dr. O'Connell, not Dr. Psyche. Psyche did my tongue, but O'Connell did most of the surgery.
How long ago was that now?
2016. You had 8 operations, right?
Maybe 10. We kind of stopped counting when we got to 10.
I remember when you told us, and I'm thinking, I was feeling sorry for myself having two. Thought, wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of bone grafts, stitch Humpty Dumpty back together again. It was all done in stages, not like how they do it now, where they can literally do it in 18 months and they're done.
It's amazing, isn't it, from your day, like even from my day, the robotic surgeries they have now, and
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
How they'll take a part of your shin bone, and then they'll 3D scan your jaw, and then they'll carve your shin bone to be the shape of your jaw, and then they'll actually screw the implants in.
It's amazing.
I know, it's crazy.
Maybe now we could take a few minutes to do some writing, maybe some of the reflections, the insights that you've had, and then we can do a little sharing.
It is wonderful how pliable the stone is. It takes shape according to the carver. One cannot be impatient, which I tend to be very often. My hour will be what it is. It is a learning and mindful process.
The stone really soothes me, just that someone was saying I like that I touch it a lot. And I have lots of stuff to let go of, but I'm okay today.
This was weird in a good way. I feel like I've been in a time capsule. It was 21 years ago. We had a group like this, and they were all head and neck cancer patients, and none of us knew each other. We never met before, and yet we were connected, which was what I felt today. So it feels like 20 years hasn't even happened. So odd. Oh, plus I love the sound of the carving. Absolutely. When you go through the kind of trauma that cancer patients go through, that feeling of loneliness, that is with you for the rest of your life. I was lucky that I had this creative urge. Makes it okay to be alone. It's almost like working on the computer makes you better at doing this, and then doing this makes you better at working on the computer. That is really cool. My art didn't really have much of a story to tell before cancer. I was well known as a sports artist. My art would be associated with a famous athlete like Muhammad Ali. Really wasn't about Stephen. Because of the cancer diagnosis, the art very much became about Stephen. Full of color, full of energy, optimism, abundance, hope. When my mom got cancer, I had nightmares about these black dots, because that's what I thought cancer was. Black, had no life in it, no energy. I did the opposite. I painted these bold, colorful, round spheres. When you look at a painting and you can tell the story of the artist's life, that is art. With my cancer diagnosis, I became the true artist. Good morning, Dana. November Project is a really unique fitness group that gets together 3 days a week, that brings together people of all different fitness levels. I was so lucky to have 7 years of November Project because you get into these dark spaces and you show up at 6 in the morning and there's 3 people and then 10 people and 25 people. And you can feel and share their energy. That is the best kind of medicine in the world. In the course of 7 years, I took a little over 425,000 photos at November Project. These magical moments of human beings moving and celebrating the joy of movement somehow got into my camera. I have friends that say, why are you doing this? You're not getting paid. I have a roof over our head, I'm healthy. Isn't that enough? You know, it doesn't take a lot to keep a human being going in this world. All of these extras that we have are just that, extras. So why not make the extras count?
It's been so long.
When did you first meet Steven? What do you recall from that?
Steven. I remember him just being filled with energy, and that was infectious. He's constantly giving back to the community and all of the communities that he's a part of. Lots of us have been through hard times. Him being here and everyone else being here, part of this community, that just built us up.
This is great. Look at this. Rob got all this. Look at that. I love it. This is the best one though. Oh, that was good. All right, 2,000 photos to edit.
All right, have fun.
Oh, I love that one of Lizina. So much joy. Hey, buddy, how are you?
How's it going?
Good. You brought your rain jacket. This is good.
Yeah, I brought like baseball gloves and
We're
stuff.
gonna- yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be playing catch.
Yeah, no, we'll be working in the rain. Come on in. You want any coffee?
Sure.
Yeah?
So you still want to do the trellis system?
Yeah, we'll try to do it. We'll probably get a break in the rain. Do you want milk?
No, just black.
Just black?
But
I like your jacket. That's very cool. It's very timely, too. So almost half the sunflowers came down. And it's funny, the ones in the back that are in the worst soil with the rocks, they're fine. You have to be careful walking back here because it's slippery. But if you see the guys in the corner, they all blew down. See the ones that are in the back there? He kind of blew over. They're all like falling down, my babies. Because the soil is so loose. See them? If we do this to the soil, they'll kind of stand up again. You watch them grow and then the storm comes along and just hammers them.
He's definitely got a one-track mind for pretty much everything. He gets too pigeonholed on one thing and doesn't kind of take a step back. He's always been like that.
We're just gonna need to visualize this, yeah? Okay, so what we're gonna wanna do is put a pole system down and then just slide this on top. Yeah, grab one and go right across here. Go right here. We'll start this way. So we'll go right there. So that means this one, we'll line it up. It'll be right here. And push it and see if it goes.
That's as far as it's gonna go.
Okay, so it's hit something.
You want to get these guys too, though. We're gonna run out.
No, we don't need those.
You don't need those?
No, those won't go too tall.
Just careful, because it's close to snapping. And then one for each line, eh?
I think we're good at that.
You don't want to add the whole way through?
No.
Just on the ends?
Yeah, I think this would be good.
Okay, it's all good.
Okay, and then what you want to do is stretch it out as much as possible. If that's enough tension? Or does it need more? Hang on, I got stuck. So right like that. Okay, look.
This guy's still too low, eh?
Be careful. Because leaves, that's the energy. The bigger
I'm aware
the leaves,
of how plants work.
Seriously? They
Yeah.
taught you that in neuroscience?
In grade 6.
In grade 6?
Maybe earlier.
Well, it should work. I don't know.
To ruin your floors.
No, don't worry about that. Hey, Nick, wake up. We're going to eat. So we have salmon and burgers.
When he was younger, he's an artist. It was a lot more focused on himself. He's become a lot more self-aware, asking more questions about other people, taking a step back from his own stuff a lot more. He's doing a whole bunch of charity work and working with the school system. Still there when we need him, but kids are out of the house. So he's more stepping into that role.
So we're going to turn this down and this up a tiny bit. And this is done. So we'll grab a plate for the salmon. For you, class, I sliced the lemons, and then I put the lemons on top of this massive salmon. It was amazing. And then I put a little bit of olive oil and butter on it, and it's actually pretty good.
Good on you, Chef.
I know, I know.
Good on you.
Is it good?
I don't know about the veggie burger, but the salmon's good.
You know, I was spending 30–40% of my year in a hospital. There were times where, you know, I thought I'd never get to see them again, and now Emerson's doing his thing at Oxford. Him and Cooper are living together. Bennett, watching him, what he's doing with neuroscience. Like, I get to see all that. And that's all I ever really wanted. Bennett and I did it. We built the grid around the sunflowers. It's done.
And how many times a day do you have to go out and give them pep talks?
No, peppy talks at least 12 times a day.
On a recorded loop.
And for dessert, we have chocolate, drumsticks, and Pop-Tarts. Last year, Harvard Grad School did a study, and they found out that 61% of all young people felt lonely. Loneliness isn't the physical absence of other people. It's the sense that you're not connected, that nothing matters, and that you're not sharing something else with another person who's right in front of you. If you simply sat down with friends or family and you shared a good meal, or you shared a story, and you hung out, because you guys know what that feels like after being isolated in COVID. It's super hard for young people to do that, because a lot of our relationships, we have 500 friends on Facebook, and so we need to fix that. Make a list of 2, 3, 4 people in your life just who matter a lot. Friends, family, some people who really matter to you. Super simple. 30 seconds, write down one thing that you're strong at. Are you creative? Are you a great leader? Are you super smart? Give yourself 1 point for every night you've had good sleep. And we're going to look at some pointers for sleep hygiene. Avoid using technology at least 2 to 4 hours, prior to going to sleep. Just I know. Good luck with this, but don't use your phone.
2 hours. What are you supposed to do?
Read a book. Go for a walk. Talk to people. This is the greatest technology right here.
We were taught how to manage our stress, and now we're facing all these assignments.
We've missed 2 years of high school, and it does not feel like we should be in grade 12.
It's just not talked about enough, is like taking care of ourselves.
Wellness just isn't about running stairs or how strong or lean you look. Wellness is your spiritual health. Do you have a higher purpose in life? And if the parent can nurture that gift in the child, that should make that person happy and put a smile on their face, and then they'll experience joy in their life. There's a lot of young people out there that have lost their hope. Imagine a young person is a sunflower. We need to provide them with a light. We need to give them that source of inspiration where they can turn to the light.
I don't think about my physical health at all. That's something I need to change.
Cool.
I can see it now.
So you're gonna have like 5 points here.
Oh God, yeah.
Excellent.
Seeing the 0 next to sleep, and I feel like that one contributes to a lot of them too, so I think I might try yoga tonight.
The curiosity one, I got no points over there. I gotta go and try new places, try new things.
Yeah. The more that you experience in life, when things do come off the rails, you can draw from that experience. Does that make sense? But we want to change the situation so you can actually get control of your wellness and you can thrive. Every time I do one of these workshops, I get gifts from you guys, which I love. So I thought I'd turn the tables. I'm going to give each one of you sunflower prints. There's a card on the back here that says the sunflower doesn't know it's beautiful, it just grows. So please accept and enjoy the sunflower prints. It's symbolic of who you are. Thank you. Welcome to our playground. Did you bring your first aid kit? The hard part is it's not just a race around the stadium. Usually you pace up the stairs and you speed down, double downs. But you can't do double downs today. It's too dangerous. With the rain, you lose your footing. You could end up in the hospital. It's that steep up there.
Freaking awesome.
It's hard going down without your glasses.
Good work, everyone. Good.
Go, Steve. Keep at it, buddy. That's a lot of rain.
I was like, I don't know why I'm in front of Eric last week. I couldn't catch him. I was feeling real good. And it's weird. That's when I went and I should have gone.
If you finish the gristle, stand up! If you even attempted the workout, stand up!
Hey, how are you?
Good job, brother.
You know where
And
you're
I
at.
had local beer, so.
There you go.
Breakfast.
You'll be back in August, right?
I know, yeah. Cheers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Way to go!
Yeah, that was fun in a weird, twisted way.
It couldn't have been more intense.
Yeah. Oh, we're brothers, isn't it? This is the amazing part about Nick. She works at night, so when I come home, I get these little notes. And then this morning, when I got up to run the gristle, the notes kind of grew a bit. Unleash the beast. You are amazing. So yeah, this was a greater gift than running the gristle and finishing it. It really was incredible. So Joy Mob, where did that come from? Where did this smile come from? I've been working on this stuff for almost 15 years. And I had this picture of Nick that was literally hanging on my wall, and I'm looking at her smile, and I love her smile. This is Nick. If she didn't have ears, I think her smile would go right around her head. And the smile is almost identical to the smile in all these happy bombs. I think it's kind of cool that I did 441 paintings of Nick. Nick the mouse, Nick the cat, Nick the hardhead, just so that people can be surrounded by all of these happy bombs, all of these faces that are staring at you with intensity and kind of over the top, crazy smile.
Oh, hello, B.
Oh, he's right there.
It's coming up on 20 years, on our next anniversary. There's no way I could have tried to sit down and write out a story where I thought we would end up, but I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy where we are, and I can't wait to see where else it goes. He is changing the world. He better not stop, because it needs some changing.
This is the Positivity Award. This is given to those that represent community and the values of November Project.
For the Positivity Award today, to Steven!
When that whole COVID thing happened, I needed to do something to get through, so we planted sunflowers for the first time in our life. And we ended up growing this forest of sunflowers. So we wanted to do something just to share the resilience of the sunflower. But you're probably wondering why you have two prints. One print is for yourself, and the other print we'd like you to give to someone. Maybe they need a spark, maybe they need a little joy in their life. So that's your first surprise. The second surprise is I wanted to do a pop-up photograph. We're all gonna hold the sunflower in front of you, and we'll do a pop-up sunflower garden. Does that make This is Nick. So, 2 things you got to know about Nick, or 3. She is not a morning person at all. My gift was to make her happy and give her these sunflowers. So that's the 3rd surprise. And there is a 4th surprise. Will you marry me? It fits.
Oh my God. I love you. I love you.
This is all right, back to business. Awesome. One more. Thank you for coming today, everyone. Any success that I've had is because of Nick. Did it because I loved her. That needed to be shared with a lot of people. That's probably the biggest moment of joyful energy I'll be able to share in my entire life. I haven't figured out everything. I don't want to. Like everyone else, I'm an unfinished painting till the day I die. You always need to grow right to the end.